Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Best of 3 Battler. So this week we have a very special guest, and I say this every week, but this in particular is a very special guest this week. We have the one, the only, Star KO, William Tansley. So Will is literally one of the best VGC players in the UK, in Europe as well. You know, he's absolutely smashed it the last 2 seasons, having amazing runs throughout the seasons, and then getting to Worlds and having really good runs there as well. So I'm just so grateful he's come on the channel, and just a big shout out to Will for taking time out and coming on. It's awesome. And you can follow Will and see how he progresses through the season, see what VGC tips he's got for you on his Twitter channel. So I'll link that in the description below, as I always do. So we've not had a very good week on the School of Hard Knocks up to now. We've played 4 matches in 2 days, and we've lost all of them. So we're trying to make changes to our Hale team. It's not going so well, but we're going to turn it around, and I hope we can turn things around today with at least a good start against Will. You know, Will is one of the toughest opponents I'm like you could face. I remember when I first played him in 2015, I think, when he was starting to just come onto the scene, and I remember playing him, and it's like you sit down across from him and he's so versed in what he wants to do. Such a hard matchup even when he was starting out, and like now he's just progressed like crazy leaps and bounds. He's like literally legit one of the best players that I think in the whole circuit. So he's no one to be underestimated. So it's going to be like, to get a result, it's going to be super tough. We've went back to a more stable team than the Hale team, which is a kind of a bit up in the air at the minute. We're kind of messing around with everything with it. So we've went back to our Tapu Lele team. I feel like I need to bring something strong against Will, and hopefully we have a good matchup against them. Will's renowned for using that Tapu Fini Togedemaru team, so we kind of, if he brings it, I don't know what he's going to bring, but we kind of know what to expect, I guess. So let's just get into it, guys. So I hope you enjoy the best of 3. As always, game 1 will be today, game 2 will be tomorrow, and if it does hopefully go to game 3, that'll be up on Friday. So good luck to my mate Will, and he's brought, so right, just to kind of quickly go over Will's team. He's got the Arcanine, the Tapu Fini, the Garchomp, Celesteela, Tapu Koko and Togedemaru. Interestingly though, I've got the Tapu Koko and the Togedemaru in the same team. That has been kind of known to be a Alolan Ninetales from when he's been playing it recently. I know that because he came like top 8 in the London Challenge over the weekend, which again is a massive feat in itself and just shows how strong a player he is. So this isn't going to be an easy team to break down. The Togedemaru obviously gives our circuitry a lot of problems. Fini as well gives him nice terrain control straight away from the lead. So let's see, I think we definitely need our Arcanine here. It's going to be pretty huge. Do we want to bring Ninetales to get the Aurora Veil up? I might just, I feel like we definitely need Garchomp. I feel like I might just want to go Garchomp Celesteela here, and leave Circuitry Ninetales at home, and just get a feel for the match. I feel like this core is quite solid in itself, so it gives us a lot of like maneuverability around board positioning and things like that. We've got a lot of synergy between the team as well, so hopefully kind of going with these 4 kind of gives us a bit of information with how Will's going to set up, how he's going to play going into game 2. And if we can sneak a win from under his nose here, then that's massive for us going into game 2. So, as I said earlier, good luck to Will, and we'll get into this week's Best of 3 Battler. So, hopefully it's good and entertaining for you guys. So we'll lead off with Arcanine and Tapu Lele, and we'll see Will lead off with his Arcanine and Tapu Fini. So Will is going to get the terrain control, and here it's going to be important for us to look at the Intimidate order of everything. So we know Will's Arcanine's outspeeding our Arcanine, but our Arcanine does outspeed the Tapu Fini, which is pretty huge because you've got Snarl on our Arcanine, which is going to be massively helpful. Tapu Lele obviously does outspeed the Fini, so we'll keep that in mind for later on in the game, as well as that Arcanine outspeeding our Lele as well. So I think here do we want to... We probably want to switch out Lele so we can try and get our terrain control back later on. I think what I'll do is just go for a Snarl. And I'll switch into Garchomp here. We've got the Assault Vest on Garchomp. We don't need to worry about potential Will-O-Wisps coming out from the Arcanine or Burns or anything like that. So we should be able to take a Moonblast quite comfortably, and we'll be able to get that Snarl off before that Tapu Fini can, you know, put any attacks out if it wants to. It might even just go for a Calm Mind. So it's a comfortable switch in for us, and it helps us adjust going into the latter turns. So do see Tapu Fini just straight away withdraw from Will's side, and that Celesteela come in for him. So Arcanine just protecting here, just scouting out what we want to do as well. So, and now Will knows we've got that Snarl for later on in the game, and we do get the Snarl off into the Celesteela. It's not really going to matter too much at all. So, I mean, our options here, we could go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Celesteela. It's likely that it protects, though, here. But maybe it doesn't, you know, as well. Will knows that my Arcanine's intimidated, so the Flare Blitz isn't going to be picking up a kill. If we can catch it with a Will-O-Wisp here, it might be quite nice. And we can always go for a Rock Slide as well. There's always a possibility of flinching, and we'll start getting some chip damage onto that opposing Arcanine as well. So I think I'll go for that. You can probably see the Celesteela, if it doesn't protect, go for a Leech Seed here. And Garchomp coming back in for Will. So we do get that Rock Slide off. Garchomp avoids, but we do hit the Celesteela, which is kind of the more important one here. And hopefully our Will-O-Wisp hits. It does. So we get a Will-O-Wisp off onto it. And let's see. Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, so Celesteela getting that Leech Seed off into Garchomp. You've got to imagine that Will's Garchomp is probably a Groundium variant. Now I've got a couple of options going into this turn. One thing I could do is switch Garchomp out for Tapu Lele and go for a Will-O-Wisp onto the opposing Garchomp, and maybe catch it when it tries to go for a Sword Stance. The other option I could do is... I really need to get the Garchomp out of here, to be honest. But at the same time, it's the problem is if Will just goes for the Tech Rage straight into my Arcanine, but it might be too early for him in the game to actually go for that. But at the same time, it's a bit risky from our end, but I think I do want to go for it because we've got to make some big plays to try and capitalize somewhere. So we'll go for that. We'll withdraw our Garchomp. We could get seriously punished for this though. So, but if he goes for that Sword Stance, then he's got to be thinking as well that maybe I switch my Arcanine out for my Celesteela. Garchomp just going for another Quick. Now Arcanine should be able to take this, even though we haven't got the Intimidate off. Yeah, we do, just about. Okay. Proxar Berry. And this Will-O-Wisp here is pretty huge, so we need it to hit. Yeah, so we get the Will-O-Wisp off. That's massive for us going forward. And hopefully we just see a Leech Seed come out from that Celesteela into that Arcanine. Yeah. Okay, so what we will need to kind of adjust our board positioning because we're still not in a great position right now. We don't want Arcanine sitting there with the Leech Seed on it. And we want to try and get it out to cycle it back in later on in the match. But I think I'm pretty safe with a switch in for maybe Celesteela for our Arcanine here. So I think I'll do that. It's a good time to probably bring it in. And I probably want to protect Tapu Lele rather than just launch anything off. It's just the problem is if that Garchomp goes for a Sword Stance. But I mean the burn's kind of on our side, so the other thing we could maybe do is switch in our Garchomp for our Tapu Lele, probably double switch. Which again might not be a bad idea. I think I'd probably rather do that than leave Lele in, and then it means if that Finny does come back onto the field, we can still kind of take control later on in the game, and just by having that Lele in the back. So we will bring in Celesteela. And the Garchomp. And there's that Sword Stance. So we could have maybe got away with a Moonblast there, but at the same time, and just another Leech Seed from the opposing Celesteela into ours. So I think here I definitely want to start getting some damage onto the Garchomp. Like we could go Dragon Claw and Leech Seed into it. Because neutrally we should take a Tech Rage from this range. But I mean, the other option we could do is switch Celesteela out to Arcanine. Reset the Leech Seed and go for that Dragon Claw into the opposing Garchomp, which will make sure that we definitely survive any Tectonic Rage that potentially comes out from that Garchomp. We'll also be able to kind of gauge speed tiers as well from our Garchomp to his. So Celesteela going out. Is it Arcanine? Yeah. Gonna get the Intimidate onto us. So an Earthquake's definitely not coming out. You've got to imagine it is a Tectonic Rage. So we're actually faster. So that's good knowledge going into this next turn, because it means we will be able to potentially pick up a KO if we get through this turn, which we should do. And there's a Tech Rage. It'll be coming out into our Garchomp. %. But it's going to be interesting to see how much health it leaves us on, because it's going to be a bit tricky if it leaves us in extreme speed range. Yeah, definitely extreme speed range. Huh, okay. So the thing is though, for him to extreme speed us, he needs to switch his Garchomp out and switch the Tapu Fini in on his Garchomp slot. And he's got to be thinking, yeah. And at this point we still probably need Garchomp to stick around. So I'm going to switch out Garchomp. I want to keep it around. I'm going to bring in Celesteela for Garchomp and just protect Arcanine here. So there's the Garchomp switch. Celesteela coming in. Okay. Pause an Arcanine. Protect. I must have timed out. Rock Slide. Okay. That's a bit frustrating, to be honest, on our end, but I guess it's worked out alright for us. Because I don't think our Arcanine's intimidated here. Yeah, we are, but my opponent's Arcanine, Will's Arcanine isn't. Right. I'm gonna go for a Snarl with Arcanine because I really think that Tapu Fini's gonna come in on that slot. And this turn I'm gonna switch in Celesteela. So Arcanine actually withdrawing. Garchomp coming back in. Okay. So we'll just get a Snarl off. It's not going to be doing very much damage, but every little bit of chip on that Garchomp is very useful. And there's just another Leech Seed from the Celesteela. But what I think I'll do here is go for a Leech Seed into the Garchomp. Like, the Garchomp's not going to protect, I don't feel, here. Because if it protects, it goes down to the burn damage. It's more likely to switch out, maybe. And if we can catch something on a switch with a Leech Seed, then I guess that's good at this point. So, yeah, there's the Garchomp switch. Maybe Arcanine coming back in. Yeah. So getting the Leech Seed onto the Arcanine is pretty nice. But we're going to really have to think about getting our own Arcanine out of here as soon as possible, really. Because we're on -2. It's not really going to be offering too much offensive threat to anything. And the opposing Arcanine is going to be threatening our Celesteela pretty heavily. So, Leech Seed from the opposing Celesteela into our Arcanine. And at this point we might need to sack our Garchomp. Or I mean, yeah, because we need to get our Arcanine back in really to be able to kind of reposition potentially an Intimidate onto the opposing Arcanine so our Celesteela is not as threatened. So okay, so do I switch out? I don't think I'm going to get a free switch into anything. Probably Lele is the safest thing, possibly. But then if we lose our Lele, then we lose... It's difficult. It is really difficult. Because we have to protect our Celesteela here. Whatever happens. So let's see if we get away with this. I don't know if we're going to. Because a Flare Blitz into that slot will definitely pick up the KO. But you've got to kind of hope that Will wants to go for a Leech Seed on that slot rather than attack into it. Wild Charge. Okay. Oh, we could have brought our Garchomp in there and a critical hit. Which is a bit unfortunate, but we do manage to hang on, and a heavy slam. So Will making a really, really good read there. Like, just making sure in case the Garchomp comes in, he knows that I had to switch out the Arcanine there. And unfortunately we do lose our Tapu Lele, which kind of means we're going to lose our terrain support as well, which is not ideal. Leech Seed's gone off all over the place. No, do we bring in our Arcanine? Yeah, because we'll force out possibly the Celesteela here. And we'll go for a Leech Seed into the Celesteela, because you've got to imagine the Arcanine wants to switch back out to reset that Intimidate. Yeah, so there's the Arcanine going out. Tapu Fini actually making its way onto the field. Maybe the Celesteela actually protects here. No, we'll protect. We've got to hope that goes for a Leech Seed, maybe onto Garchomp, and we get through the turn unscathed. Well, oh my god, okay, that's super lucky. Okay. That's a massive turn for us. But it's still not over by any means. Right, now do we keep Garchomp in and go for a Rock Slide. Potentially you pick a Flinch up and then get a Leech Seed onto the Tapu Fini. Or do we imagine the Tapu Fini just to attack? I'm going to bring in Arcanine. And I'm going to go for a Leech Seed onto that Tapu Fini. There's a Muddy Water. Oh. Misses the Arcanine. Again, I was getting very fortunate here with these rolls. Accuracy dropped on Celesteela. We do hit a Leech Seed though, which is pretty huge. And another Leech Seed from that. It pulls the Celesteela into our Arcanine, so Leech Seeds laid everywhere. Animations are going to take forever. So what do we do this next turn? I mean, we could go for a Flare Blitz into the Celesteela slot. Could go for a Snarl. But it might be better for us to potentially just Heavy Slam into that Tapu Fini slot. Maybe expecting the Celesteela on Will's end to protect. I don't know if it will though. That's the only problem. One option we could do is go for a double into the Celesteela, Flamethrower and Flare Blitz into it. But then, like we were saying earlier, we lose our option to get an Intimidate off if we lose our Arcanine. So I mean, we could potentially just go into Garchomp here. It's risky though, because if anything gets... I think I'm going to have to go for the Flare Blitz and the Flamethrower here into the Celesteela and hope that's enough. If we don't see the Arcanine come in, I imagine it will be. Oh, Celesteela switching out eventually, and that Arcanine coming in for Will. So a nice play on his end. We're probably going to see a Muddy Water come out from that Tapu Fini here. And he's kind of just locking this game up, really. Like I said, it was a big risk to take at this point, but I feel like we had to do something to try and break the wheel. Muddy Water coming out. This probably will pick up the KO onto Arcanine, which it does. It does a really big chunk of damage to our Celesteela as well. And Flamethrower into that Arcanine, not going to be doing very much damage at all. And now we've got our Garchomp to come in. And the problem with that is that this Arcanine's probably got extreme speed. And it's going to be able to pick up the KO onto Garchomp pretty easily, you've got to imagine. So, down to our last two Pokemon. I think Will's still got all four. Yeah, still got all four. I mean, I just go for an Earthquake, I guess, and I Leech Seed into... Do an Earthquake or do a Rock Slide? I mean, Rock Slide's probably going to benefit us a bit more, probably, and there's always the likelihood that we can flinch, but like I say, extreme speed's probably going to come out here. Yeah, we are going to go for a Leech Seed into that Arcanine, but I don't think that Arcanine's berry has procced yet, so another Muddy Water from this Tapu Fini. That must be Choice Specs Tapu Fini. So that's good information going into the next game, and this is pretty much it. Alici does miss the Arcanine, but I don't think it matters too much at this point, and Will's going to be able to lock this up quite comfortably here. So very good game to Will. We need to definitely adjust our gameplay going into the next game, game 2, to turn this round, because it's just been a massive slogfest here with just the Celesteela Wars, and Will's kind of come out on the better side of it. Let's go for a heavy slam into the Finny, but we're never going to get it because the Flare Blitz coming up from Will's Arcanine, going to pick up the KO on our Celesteela and end the game, taking Will 1-0 up. So very intense game, very good game to Will, and we will be soon going into game 2. So like I said earlier on in the episode, guys, if you want to follow Will on Twitter, you can find his link, his handle, in the description below, so do go and follow him. And if you've enjoyed this episode, do leave a like. Let me know your opinions on the match, on the teams and things like that. It would be great to hear what your opinions are and your thoughts are going in preparation for game 2. So I'm going to wrap things up there, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we will be back tomorrow for game 2. Hopefully we can adapt our game plan and just take the knowledge that we've got from that first game into game 2 and then go from there. So until tomorrow, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you later. So until then, bye bye.